So, do you think what divorced women feel and मतलब go through is the same as what widowed women goes through? मतलब वही society वही respect दोनों को देती है या दोनों के challenges same होते हैं? How are these two types of women जो husband के बिना हैं वो किस तरह से similar और dissimilar है आपके हिसाब से?
अगर मेरे नज़रिए से देखें, आई एम नॉट अ विडो, आई हैव नेवर बीन अ विडो, सो आई एक्चुअली कैन नॉट स्पीक फॉर देम। लेकिन अगर मेरे नज़रिए से मैं देखूं तो आई फील दे हैव द बेटर डील।
Okay,
दिस इज
how?
माई टेक। दे आर सिंगल, बट दे आर सिंगल बाय सर्कमस्टांसेस। ठीक है, उनका हस्बैंड गुजर गया, सो दे आर नॉट बाय चॉइस, so society looks at them a little bit more benevolently. This is what I
आपको
personally
ऐसा
feel.
नहीं लगता सोसाइटी उनसे पूछती है तुमने करवा चौथ नहीं किए ढंग से या तुम निर्जला
Maybe
करती
a
करवा
small,
चौथ तो क्या पता तुम्हारा हस्बैंड अभी जिंदा होता।
मैंने निर्जला करवा चौथ किया
तुमने
है 8
सिंदूर
साल।
तुमने सिंदूर नहीं लगाया मांग में इसलिए तुम्हारी हस्बैंड की लाइफ छोटी हो गई। ऐसे ऐसे सवाल उनसे पूछे जाते होंगे,
मैंने
डोंट यू
ये
थिंक?
सारा किया हुआ है और फिर भी मैं डाइवोर्सी हूँ, आप समझिए। मैं ये बोल रही हूँ कि देर इज अ स्मॉल सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी विच इज वेरी रिलीजियसली एंड कल्चरली बेंट। वो बोलेगी, मुझे भी बोलेगी और
वो
मुझको भी
सबको
बोलेगी।
बोलेगी।
लेकिन इफ यू लुक एट द लार्जर पिक्चर, they are more respected because they did not make the choice of being single, right? They have got children who are probably, not always, but probably looked after by the in-laws. Okay, the society is, maybe they are having this चरित्र के ऊपर उंगली तो उनकी भी बहुत जल्दी
हाँ
उठती होगी
हाँ
कि
हाँ।
आपने उस आदमी से बात की और ये वो। लेकिन they have a better deal than us in Indian society. That is what I personally feel. My take on it. Maybe if I have this discussion with a widowed woman, then
Then you might
maybe
know better.
I will see a different perspective and
Maybe.
change mine. Could be.
मे बी। सो आई वुड लाइक टू नो कि आपके हिसाब से डिवोर्स का लास्ट स्ट्रॉ क्या होना चाहिए? आई मीन व्हाट इज द लास्ट स्ट्रॉ कि ऐसा हुआ तो डिवोर्स अब तो लेना ही पड़े, ये नहीं सहन होगा।
Like I said, physical abuse mostly, and loss of self respect. अगर आपका husband कुछ भी ऐसा करता है, अगर आपने वो इंग्लिश विंग्लिश श्रीदेवी वाली पिक्चर
हाँ।
देखी हो, okay, the husband loves her, he's never abused her, never lifted a finger, but he ridicules her to such a state that her self-respect is totally touched the ground. And in spite of the fact that she loved her family, she had to take the step of learning English to get her self-respect back. I feel that that man is not worthy of respect. And in her situation, she should have taken action. She did it very subtly. Not all women get a chance to take such a subtle reaction. But that loss of self respect is the first sign that this partner is not behaving
This
well with you.
relationship is not working, so better work on it. That
Better
is the
work.
first sign
First
to
thing.
start working on your relationship. So I would like to ask you something. मतलब जो मैरिड वुमेन होती हैं और जो एकदम डिवोर्स के कगार पे खड़ी है, तो आप क्या उनको राय दोगे कि डिवोर्स ले लो?
It was not an easy life. Believe me, my last 8 years with my children has been a struggle. And it's not just financial struggle, it's actually making a niche for myself as a respected member of society. It's dealing with my own parents. My parents are my great support system, believe me. But even then, your maternal home after marriage is your maternal home, it is a separate home. There are a lot of things which are ingredients to it. What I will say is that when you are coming to that threshold where you think that divorce is a choice, ask yourself whether it is your ego speaking, whether it is his ego speaking, or whether it is the self respect of both at stake. See if it is your ego speaking. Like there was one lady who came to me who wanted my lawyer's number, and she told me that my husband before marriage promised me one foreign holiday a year, and it's been 3 years and he's not taken me on a single one. So I have decided to divorce him. I think that's bullshit. That's crap. That's your ego talking. You need to understand that this is not the reason for breakup of a marriage. He may have promised you something, but has he affected your self-respect? Is he paying you fees for your children? Is he putting the food on the table? Is he respecting you in front of his own parents? If your self-respect is not at stake, it is just your dreams, your aspirations, and it's something he's not earning enough to take you, probably. So it's something that you should both sit down and talk across the table and save and do it. So that is your ego. So if it's your ego which is making you cause the decision of divorce, then you're a fool. Believe me, life is a compromise even with your best friend. It is a compromise with your children. It's a compromise with your husband also. So if you're making a compromise on a small thing like a holiday, life will be very smooth later on. So don't make such ego issues the reasons for a divorce. But yes, like I told you, if your self respect is at stake, if you are being physically abused, don't even think that he will change. A abuser rarely changes. If he has slapped you the first time, that is the time that you need to take a stand and tell him, I will not take abuse. If you wait for him to give you that second slap, you've already crossed the threshold where your relationship is already ending and probably divorce is the only solution. But if there is no physical abuse, if there is no mental and financial abuse is also an abuse. I know a lady whose husband was not allowing her to work or go out of the house because he wanted to make her financially dependent on him, so
बहुत
that,
होता है, this is very rampant, I
and
mean it
this
is
is
rampant.
abuse. Most ladies don't even realize it. Not being allowed to work when you can, not being having access to money. He does all the shopping. He gets all the vegetables. He doesn't even give you money to buy the groceries or pay the children's bills. That is financial abuse. Believe me, that is a control freak. And a control freak is going to end up becoming a physical abuser. And that abuser is going to be so severe, it is going to be close to murder. So beware of such kind of abuse: financial abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, as well as physical
What is
abuse.
spiritual abuse?
Not allowing you to have your own. This was a sign in my marriage. I should have realized it. I was not able to even opine on political issues. In a party, we would be sitting together and somebody would say something against Congress or Bharatiya
Actually,
Janata Party. And at that time, I was a Congress fan. And my family was obviously for BJP. And I would say something for Congress and he would cut me off in front of the people and I wouldn't think too much of it, but after going back home I would be slapped around for making an opinion on the Congress party. So you think Congress is better, so you think this. It would be a fight, an issue for a fight. I was not allowed to voice my own opinions. That is spiritual abuse. You have a right as a human being to opine whatever you want. It may not gel well with the general public, but it's your personal opinion. You are not forcing the public to go by it, right? It's something that you believe in. Nobody can tell you you can't have an opinion. If somebody is telling you that, it is spiritual, emotional, and ultimately physical abuse. There are people who have sexual inclinations. You don't want to do it. If you are not comfortable, you, even if you're married to the person, you have full rights to say, I don't want to do it. And if that person still forces you without a discussion, without your permission, it is abuse. Even in marriage, there can be sexual abuse.
true.
Please understand that. I have had ladies coming to me for this particular reason, and I have taken them to counselors and told them that yes, this is grounds for a divorce. If you do not want to do something and you are forced to do it, even if you're married to the person, whether it's the man or the woman of the equation, please believe me, guys, it is not okay. There are people in the world who have your inclinations. Go get married to them. Be partners with them. There are
Yeah,
people who have similar inclinations.
very
You
true.
don't need to stay with a person who doesn't share your inclination. And in this case, the person was married for 40 years and suffering. She is now very happily living with her parents in the States. But I'm telling you, at that time, I didn't know where to look when she was describing to me what was happening to her for 40 years. So please understand, guys, don't go on to relationships like that where your self respect. I think the ultimate ticket, Naika, is self respect. If your self respect is taking a battering, it is time to think, are you in the correct space? Are you in the
लेकिन
correct
प्रॉब्लम
marriage?
ये है शची कि औरतों को जनरली इतना फाइनेंशियली सिक्योर या इंडिपेंडेंट या नॉलेज ही नहीं दी जाती कि वो कभी डिवोर्स के बारे में सोच ही पाए। मतलब आप ये सोचो कि अगर ससुराल छोड़ देगी तो कहाँ जाएगी? पीहर जाएगी।
पीहर में
फाइनेंशियली
बहुत सारे एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते. आई वॉज लकी, मेरे पेरेंट्स वर वेरी सपोर्टिव, माई फैमिली वॉज वेरी सपोर्टिव, बट नॉट एवरीबडी इज
एंड
दैट लकी.
फाइनेंशियली खुद का तो कुछ होता ही नहीं है, उनको पता ही नहीं होता, तो घूम फिर के उनको जाना कहाँ है? दिस इज अ स्टेटमेंट मोस्टली मेनी हस्बैंड पास, तेरा मेरे अलावा है कौन, कहाँ जाएगी?
Very true. It is unfortunately the sad story of human Indian society. I will not even say anywhere else. Indian society, this scenario is there. And for this, I would like to say only one thing कि हम लोग जो geography, physics, history, mathematics करते हैं ना, I think एक और subject रखना बहुत
फाइनेंस।
ज़रूरी है. You should not just finance, but you what is the correct thing in relationships. I think अपनी जो संस्कृति है, आप अगर देखोगे ना तो जैनों की जैन स्कूल चलती हैं, मुस्लिम्स की मदरसा में स्कूल्स होती हैं, कैथलिक्स की बाइबल वीकेंड्स होती हैं. हिंदूज की ऐसा कुछ क्लासेस होता नहीं है संस्कृति का. आई पर्सनल फील कि ऐसा सांस्कृतिक डेवलपमेंट होना
फीमेल्स
चाहिए
के लिए, लड़कियों
लड़कियों
के
के
लिए,
लिए,
ताकि शादी के
अंडरस्टैंडिंग
बाद क्या होता है
होता है.
चैलेंजेस और उसको कैसे फेस करने का। यू आर जस्ट फोर्स्ड इनटू अ मैरिज, जाओ शादी करो। दी
फाइनेंसेस कैसे
हाँ
हैंडल करने हैं, किस तरह से आप हस्बैंड से कौन सी चीजें शेयर करनी है, जॉइंट अकाउंट क्यों होना चाहिए,
हाँ
आपका वाई शुड यू बी नॉमिनेटेड, आपके नाम में आधी प्रॉपर्टी क्यों होनी चाहिए.
ट्रू।
ये सारी जो चीजें हैं, इट शुड बी टॉट बाय पेरेंट्स और मे बी इन स्कूल टू ईच एंड एवरी गर्ल टू नो हर राइट्स. घर पे ही उसको नहीं बताते हैं तो वो ससुराल में क्या समझेगी. ससुराल वाले तो उसको कुछ देना ही नहीं चाह रहे, वो तो बाहर वाली है.
आई हैव अ फ्यू केसेस शची, जहाँ पे फीमेल्स को उनके हस्बैंड की डेथ हो गई तो उनके घर से वो अपने मतलब बेटे के साथ निकाल दिया गया कि तुम जानो, तुम्हारा बेटा जाने, यहाँ से जाओ।
I have heard this. I have heard this in a lot of places. I think there are many women in Connect also. You must be knowing it's not just one or two, but quite a few who have gone through this. I would say it's the bad fortune of those in laws to lose not just their son who died, but even to lose the grandson who is actually a sign of their own blood. So it is very sad that they are losing. But this women should know their rights and they should know that 50% of their husband's property does belong to them and their son, and they should fight for their rights, at least for their child's education and future, if nothing more. And these rights should be made known to those parents also, who so callously, discarded the daughter-in-law just because she is no longer of use to their son who is no longer alive. I think that is really crazy because I feel Indian society is treating women like commodities. मेरे बेटे का plaything है, बड़ा हो गया, उसको चाहिए सेक्सुअल रिलेशंस, तो एक बहू लेके आए तो वो एक प्लेथिंग है. मेनी पेरेंट्स डू दैट. मैं कभी कभी सोचती हूँ
सीरियसली
सीरियसली, और मैं ये सोचती हूँ, मैंने ऐसे देखा हुआ है. आई हैव
सीरियसली
सीन
भाई,
इट इन पीपल
आई
अराउंड
डोंट
मी.
बिलीव दैट।
I have seen it. She is a plaything. She is not even a person. She is a plaything who on the side will do झाड़ू पोता बर्तन servant का भी काम करेगी. So people who come with that mentality need to change it. I didn't know all this before I got divorced myself. It is only after coming in the Connect community and being exposed to women who need to work. Connect, most women are not working because they want to. There are many women who are working because they need to put the food on the table. उनको जरूरत है काम की. When I talk to these women on one-to-one basis and hear their stories are dark. And these stories make me realize that our society needs to change. And our ancient society, if you look over the scriptures, before the Britishers came to rule over us, our Indian society was not like this. We were one of the most forward thinking societies in the world. The Britishers have put their stamp on us. They were a very closed group of people. They have imposed their culture onto us. And unfortunately, we Indians have not realized it. Even after 300 years and after another 40, 75 years of freedom, we are still stuck to this 300 years old adage which the Britishers have left with us. Are even their prime minister is in Indian now. Time to wake up. Time to
ट्रू,
wake
वेरी
up,
ट्रू।
guys. That we need to accept our own Sanskriti, our own culture back again.
जो संस्कृति जहाँ पे लक्ष्मी जी का पूजन होता है, सरस्वती जी का पूजन होता है, दुर्गा जी का पूजन होता है, जहाँ औरतों को माता समझते हैं, औरतों को देवी समझते हैं, वो संस्कृति। तो हम अपनी औरतों को सशक्त बनाएं, इसके लिए हमने ये वीडियो बनाया है, ये पॉडकास्ट बनाया है। ना कि हमें किसी को रिडिकल करना है, ना कि हमें इंडियन सोसाइटी पे कोई तोहमत लगानी है। हमें जानना है और हमें सीखना है और हमें आगे बढ़ना है ताकि हम बेहतर कल का निर्माण कर सकें। दैट इज द रीजन वी आर स्टार्टिंग द पॉडकास्ट फ्रॉम टुडे। टुडे इज आवर फर्स्ट वीडियो एंड
Thank
थैंक यू
you.
डॉक्टर शाची फॉर
Thank
जॉइनिंग
you for
अस।
this opportunity and thank you for allowing me to talk. Really, we have fought against the odds. Most women over here, like Naika says, and I think we can continue to fight with each other's support.
थैंक यू एवरीवन।
Thank you.